Hey guys, Cosmic Rain here. Hope you guys are doing well. I finally got to see the Gina Carano interview with Ben Shapiro, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I felt bad. I do. It's not like I didn't feel bad before, but I felt when she explained everything. Well, not everything. There's some things that she couldn't say. But when she explained what was going through her mind, what actually happened behind the scenes, the reasons for the action she's taken, it's really sad to hear. And so, at some points, it pissed me the hell off, and it was just like, what, really? Like I imagine the sort of things that happen behind the scenes when it comes to Disney when you piss them off. Imagine it, but hearing it from a person who's experienced it, it's a different feeling. It really is. And before I speak on my feelings on it, there is one thing that I want to apologize for. I remember I did a video before where I was just saying, I forgot what I said. I pretty much said that this thing is not gonna. It's just gonna be a blip on the radar. It's not going to be... People will take it seriously for like a few days, but then later on, people will just forget about it. And I said some things about... I don't think alternatives... Like, people are saying, yeah, we need to support alternatives. I agree with that, but I don't think that's like the ultimate solution of fixing this, because Disney pretty much has the monopoly on anything, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to fix everything. I think what's going to fix it if we just somehow, I don't know, hold Disney to account. And I still stand by that. I still really believe in that. I don't think that just signing with the alternative is going to fix things. Because, like I said, Disney has monopoly on anything. And I just don't... And I just felt like YouTubers were just, like, making videos and then... I don't know, it's not going to fix the core issue. This has been going on for a long time, and then people are like, why hasn't it been fixed? Because no one's actually trying to fix it. So in that respect, I still defend my point on that. I'm still 100% for it. I'm not taking that back. But I will take back, and I will apologize for, is when I said that this is not... It's a blip on the radar. I was wrong. Clearly I was wrong on that. Because... After everything, after the firing, even before the whole Gina Carano interview thing. Did it come up before or after? I'm not sure. But in the Oscars YouTube, where Kathleen Kennedy, the infamous, fade in, she was talking, if I remember right, she was talking about we need to empower women. We need to empower women and all that shit. And I'm just like, really? The audacity. You would say that after what you did with Gina Carano, really? But I just thought it was just going to be just another thing. But when I saw the dislike ratio, and when I saw the comments, I was just like, holy shit. People... Because I was like, finally, this is... Look, everyone knows that... Disney knows that they're being hypocritical about this. But being hypocritical, and people pointing it out in large groups of numbers... where people are pointing out your hypocrisy, are two totally different things. Disney knows they're being hypocritical. Hypocritical. I can't speak right now. They know this. But they'll just dust down to the rug. They'll be like, alright, we fired Gina Carano. We're going to keep Pedro Pascal, but we're going to fire Gina Carano. But hey, we need to empower women. Seeing that pushback on YouTube, on that comment section, and the dislike ratio... I mean, come on, you have to, like, Disney has to be, like, sensing that. They have to be like, okay, we can't bullshit. And, Lord of behold, they removed the comment section. Did they remove the likes and dislikes? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I remember they removed the comment section. I was like, good, finally. People are now seeing the full of shit Kathleen Kennedy is. I'm like, seriously, you're gonna do that? I mean, and I remember saying in my other video, look, at this point, I am so frustrated that I don't care, in the sense that if you don't cancel cancel someone for their opinions, or you're gonna cancel someone for the actions they did 10 years ago. At this point, I'm so frustrated. It's like, I don't care either way. At least be consistent. That's all I care about. If you're gonna cancel someone for a 10-year-old tweet or their own opinions, fine. But at least be consistent. Don't just fire Gina Carano and then leave Pedro Pascal. And it's the hypocrisy and the double standard is driving me insane. And in this interview, when she actually broke down the things that happened and what she actually meant by the tweets. And here's the thing. Was it a tweet or an Instagram post? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was an Instagram post. And I said this in the video. And I said that anyone who is not looking at someone's opinions with a political lens, you could clearly see she wasn't conflating what Republicans going through now with the Holocaust. She's clearly not saying that. The message she sent is basically a warning sign that we must be careful not to demonize anyone from any political spectrum. Because if you start doing that, you're going to start dehumanizing them, and then you're going to find yourselves coming up with excuses to commit horrible atrocities on them. That's what she's saying. Anyone who's not even... Look, it doesn't matter if you're lefty. If you just see the Instagram post for what it is, you can clearly see she's not talking about conservatives. You can literally go both ways with what she said. But they chose to take what she says, warped it, and basically said, she's clearly talking about Republicans and matching it with the Holocaust. That's clearly not what she said. But with Pedro Pascal, there's no room for interpretation. He's clearly calling people. I can't believe he called like half his countrymen Nazis. But anyways, this interview was very enlightening, and it shows what kind of person Gina Carano is, and it shows her thought process in all of this. Because I completely forgot, because I didn't take into account like she's been a fighter her whole life. So when she sees someone like starting shit, she'll try to end it in the same manner. So people were going on to her Twitter and demanding her to change her bio, which blows my mind. The fact that people think that's normal, where you could just go on someone else's Twitter and then demand them, hell, even asking them to add their bio, that's just weird to me. Like, even if you ask me nicely, hey, could you change your bio? Even that's a red flag to me. It's like, why did you think that was normal? That's like me going to some random person's Facebook and then tell them to add this on the wall. That's weird. That's weird enough. It's the same thing. And then I'm seeing people like warp. It's weird. People like defending the actions of people who were bullying her, and that's what it is. It's bullying. And then she replied with beep bop boop. Clearly, the beep bop boop wasn't meant to insult trans. Clearly, it was just to insult people who were demanding her to write anything on her profile. And then people were like, "Oh, she didn't have to be snarky, so it's her fault." I'm like, "What do you mean she didn't have to be snarky?" The people who went towards her and asked her to add, hell, let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say they asked her. When in reality, they demanded her. But let's just say, for the sake of reality, they asked her. The fact that you thought that was normal and that was like an appropriate thing warps my mind. Warps my mind. You can't just go to someone and ask them, hey, could you put your pronouns on this bio? Because otherwise, if you don't do that, how am I supposed to know that you're for trans? That blows my mind. That really does blow my mind. I'm seeing people twist the situation where, because in the interview she said she was bullied, and I'm seeing people make this excuse. Well, she fought back, so it's not. So basically, what I'm trying to say is because she put beep bop boop, she can't say that she was bullied. So her saying that she was bullied is nonsense. That line of thinking blows my fucking mind. Because by that logic, if I'm the bully and I'm pushing and I see the person that I want to bully, for example, like I see the scrawny kid on the street and I'm the bully, and then I push him, I shove him, and then he shoves me back. By that logic, I'm no longer the bully. That logic blows my mind. Like, even if the guy pushes me back, even if he defends himself, that doesn't negate me being a bully. Because I started the fight. I am still the bully. But I'm seeing people make up these weird mental gymnastics. It's weird. And I'm like, how could you? Humans are fascinating. I swear. How could you take that situation where someone's going for attack, they defend themselves, and then when you see the act, and the guy who's defending himself, like, look, this guy's bullying me. He pushed me, and I pushed him back. And then a third party will come in and is like, well, you pushed back, so you clearly weren't bullied. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. She was clearly bullied, and this was going on for months. And people were just adding this requirement on her. It's like, oh, you should have ignored it. Oh, you should have done this. I'm like, imagine dealing with this for months. I'm like, why are you not putting the onus on the people who went after her in the first place? That's what weirds me out. It's like, people are just finding defenses for bad behavior. Don't attack. What did Will Smith say? His famous quote, don't start nothing, don't be nothing. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the thing. And I'm seeing people just like defending the actions of the people who instigating the fight. And it just blows my mind. And it's just like, and I'm seeing people saying, oh, she's lying because she's clearly acting because she can't even say her sentences properly. Look, if you watch her interviews, some interviews she's like that. Clearly she's nervous. Clearly this whole experience is still fresh in her mind. I'm just, and it's weird, man. It's weird. It's like people are trying to find things to delegitimize her, and it blows my mind. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And the story she's telling, she says is weird. It was like, she has to apologize to 40 individuals in Zoom. And I'm just like, are you serious? I'm like, there is no way I would do that. That's like, what is it? That's like the equivalent of, where, I forgot where it is. But basically, when you're like, shamed on the street, where you're like carrying the cross and people just hurl rocks at you. This is basically what it is. Why would anyone subjugate themselves to that? With 40 individuals. And I loved her response. She's like, look, the lockdown is off. The lockdowns go away. How about I treat you guys to dinner? I look you in the eye. That's the most alpha thing I've heard. No, because it's serious. Because it's easy to talk shit behind someone behind a monitor. It's a different story when you start talking shit in front of someone face to face. Not only that, you humanize them. When you look at someone in the eye and you express your grievance, you start to see that the person the opposite you, their reactions, their likes, their dislikes, their arguments, and it starts to humanize them in your eyes, and vice versa. That's how it should be done. So when she's like, look, I'll treat you guys to dinner, we will talk about this, I look in your eye, you look me in the eye, and we'll find some common ground. But no, they didn't. And I remember Gina was like, I forgot what I'm pretty sure, I remember the interview, and she was like, okay, we'll discuss this, but we'll also need to discuss things on the other side. Why is it when the other person does this, you guys are fine with it? And then she says she had no answer for it. And it just shows the blatant hypocrisy. And this hypocrisy needs to stop, man. It's really, it's really annoying. Oh, man. And then people criticizing the interview. People are like, oh, because this is clearly biased. And this is not, what was it? It's not balanced because they're not giving them tough questions. Look, to be fair to Ben Shapiro, throughout, when he was talking about he was going to interview Gina, I'm pretty sure he was straight up. He said, look, I'm just going to interview Gina about her experience. That's it. This is not like a super balanced thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to ask you some really, 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 really hard questions. I'm going to grill you, understand. He's like, no, look, I have a platform, Daily Wire. I have this. You are being destroyed online. I have a platform. Say your piece. That's basically what it was. Just to say your piece. And then she said her piece, and she said it really well. And it really let me delve in what kind of environment Disney has in their company. And it's scary, man. Again, I keep saying this. Like Disney, this is the same company that goes after Gina because of she's like, what was the reason? The reason they gave was dumb, but they were like, oh, she's offensive, blah blah blah. This is the same company that had that fucking drama with China and the concentration camp. Really, you're like the moral authority on what's offensive or not? It's like, fuck you. And I'm glad people calling out. It's the same with Kathleen Kennedy in that video when she's like, we need to empower women. People destroyed her in that comment section. It's like, don't fucking talk about empowering women when you literally just fired someone, a woman, for having a different opinion. That's what it's always been. When you hear people say, we need to empower women, people need to realize, and then starting to realize, it's like, when they say empower women, they mean empower women who think exactly like them. They don't mean all women. And it's just like, I'm glad people are like fighting back on that. And that will hold my hand up to. That's why I'll be like, you know what? I was wrong on that. Will it stick in the long run? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's I don't know. Cause look at what happened with look at Star Wars, for example. The Last Jedi basically split the fandom. And people were like, yeah, you know what? I'm done. Even though Rise of Skywalker came out and it made a fuck ton of money. Didn't it surpass The Last Jedi? I'm pretty sure it did. It made a lot of money. And then The Mandalorian came out. And then Luke Skywalker returned. And everyone's back on board. I mean, not everyone's back on board, but the majority, you know what I mean? Because Luke Skywalker's fucking back. So now I'm just thinking, well, will it stick? Because fans can be fickle, whereas like if they start dangling characters like keys and faces, people just grab for it. So will it stick? I don't know. I really don't know. I hope it does. Because for me, I'm done with Disney as in general, to be honest. Because when Jon Favreau was like, all right, everything will eventually go back to the sequel trilogy. Because there was this talk about, oh, they're wiping out, they're gonna wipe out the sequel trilogy and redo it. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen. But when Jon Favreau was like, nope, everything will go back to the sequel trilogy, I'm like, okay, thank you, I'm done. I'm done. That's as confirmed as you could get. Where it's like, yep, I'm done. Because I know people making a huge splash about WandaVision. I don't care. I mean, I've seen like YouTube clips. I've seen what happens. I just don't care. Endgame was like, even though I didn't really like Endgame, I don't think Endgame was a good movie. There was a great moment, so I don't think it's a good movie, but it was a good end. Now I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not watching WandaVision. I'm definitely not watching Mandalorian. Now that I know that it will just go back to school. Because I knew from the get-go, no matter how cool Luke Skywalker is, because that was an epic moment in the finale of The Mandalorian, I know that deep down, in a few years down the line, he's just going to drink that alien milk and it's just going to be him saying, I just want to die on the island. So it's just... Yeah, so pretty much for me, I'm not contributing to Disney Plus. I don't care. But will it stick? I don't know. I hope it does. And again, as much as I criticize people's solution to this whole big company being hypocritical, acting the way even though I'm criticize people's solutions, but guys, alternatives. I'm like, yes, that's one solution, but that's not the whole solution. Because again, Disney pretty much almost owns everything, so we can't just keep relying on. Even though I did criticize that, I still admit that yes, support alternatives, of course, but let's not act like that's like the greatest. That's like the big solution that will end all this bullshit. It's not. But I am really interested to see what Gina Carano will do with the Daily Wire. Because I've seen Run, Fight, Hide, or whatever that movie was. I seen it. It was good. Some parts were dumb, but for the most part, it was a good movie. It was really good. Really good. Then there should be alternatives, of course. I can't wait to see what she does with the Daily Wire. Hope it's good. But yeah, this whole Disney thing, this whole bullshit. I don't know. I have to wait and see.